No matter what Tampa Bay's baseball franchise has done in the past, or what it goes on to achieve in the future, there is one accomplishment that can never be equaled. The 1998 Devil Rays will always hold the distinction of being the team that turned the region's big league dreams into reality.
And the first pitch in Devil Ray history.
That opening pitch and the feeling that the whole area and St. Petersburg is a major league city. It was, I think it took till that moment to actually grasp what has happened. And again, it was just a humbling, and it was an honor then, and it's an honor today just to be able to talk about it.
It holds a very special place for me. It's the first opportunity I had to manage, and to be selected to lead a group of people that are coming from all over, it was special. It was a special honor for me, and I'll never forget that.
I just remember the bigness of it, like, you know, the new stadium, Tropicana Field, and you know, the fans being packed in there, and we were excited not just for opening day. I mean, you're always excited for opening day, but the start of a new franchise. I think we all understood what it meant.
I'm shocked that 20 years has gone by so fast. But, you know, it's hard to believe, but it's gratifying to, you know, say, you know, part of that first team.
That Major League Baseball has voted 28-0 to award expansion franchises to Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Phoenix, Arizona.
Years of near misses and heartbreaking disappointment are all washed away on March 9, 1995, when Major League Baseball officially welcomes Tampa Bay into its exclusive club. As exciting as that moment is, it's also the beginning of a monumental task. And in July of '95, owner Vince Namoli announces his first big hire, general manager Chuck Lamar.
For a baseball guy like myself to be able to have the chance to start a complete organization and baseball operations from scratch, it doesn't happen, you know, and I was fortunate to be blessed to have that opportunity, but it was just enormous. I mean, we didn't have any pencils or pens, or I think Cass Helpin was here, John Higgins, the general counsel was here, Mr. Namoli obviously, and that was about it.
There are a host of franchise firsts over the next couple of years, like the first minor league game and the organization's first championship. But the big league club really begins to take shape in November of '97, when Marlins pitching coach Larry Rothschild is named manager.
These jobs don't come along very often. You don't get the opportunity to build from the ground up in very many situations, and I think I feel very fortunate today.
And the team selects 35 players from around the league in the expansion draft. There are subsequent trades and some notable free agent signing, including 2 Tampa guys, Wade Boggs and Fred McGriff, that all combine to create the core of the Devil Rays' first ever roster.
I was a reserve in Colorado, and I was still trying to make a name for myself and within that team environment. And so to be afforded the opportunity to come in and compete and solidify an everyday role with the expansion team, like I said, it was a dream come true, and it was an opportunity I wanted to take advantage of.
My wife and I were building a house here in Tampa while we were playing for the Padres. So when I got that phone call from Kevin Towers and he said, you know, I traded you to Tampa knowing you were going to be building a house there and setting up shop, couldn't be more excited. And then the thought of talking to my agent about an expansion team, starting something from the ground, it was an exciting time, not only in my career but for my family.
As opening day 1998 inches closer, one of the Devil Rays' biggest needs is depth, a situation that creates a crowded, if not chaotic, scene at the team's first ever spring training.
We had lots of people because we were trying to formulate a club, and we needed as many bodies as we possibly could, and maybe we could find that diamond in the rough, but not having a true major league facility with all those numbers. I look upon it fondly. Now, if you ask Larry Rothschild or our major league coaching staff, they may feel a little bit differently about it.
Because we had so many players doing two-a-day workouts for the first 10 days, you know, I think I killed my coaching staff through that process, which I apologize to them for, but, and I think I killed myself during that process, but, you know, I just wanted to see everybody.
I remember those two-a-days. I remember at least 60, 70 guys in camp, but they put me in with the group. You know, you can kind of read in between the lines by, you know, what group they put you in. So I knew I had a really good chance of making the team just based on the year I had the year before and how they were treating me in spring training and the at-bats they were giving me.
You got a new team and you got new gear and everybody had their new Devil Ray hats and their new Devil Ray shirts and everybody was just fired up. I mean, it was reality that at the end of March in 1998 there would finally be a Major League Baseball after near misses with the White Sox and the Giants and the Mariners, and it was finally here.
The energy and excitement all across Tampa Bay on opening day 1998 is so strong, it seems like no one is immune to the emotions of the moment.
I remember driving through the stadium. I started crying, and I started thinking about it. Wow, you know, what's going on? What happened? And so many things that I went back to when I was a kid, playing on the streets. My dream was to play baseball in the States. When I got here, you know, now it's my dream is to get to the big leagues. Then I got to the big leagues, and now I have the chance to be the opening day pitcher for a brand new team. It was so much, and that's why I kind of said, man, you know, it's come a long way.
I just remember the bigness of it, like, you know, the new stadium, Tropicana Field, and the fans being packed in there, and we were excited not just for opening day. I mean, you're always excited for opening day, but the start of a new franchise. I think we all understood what it meant.
I remember just the electricity in the air. You know, I wasn't in the lineup, but still, I was on cloud nine. I was in the major leagues, opening day. It was the first opening day in the major leagues for me. So it was exciting. It was electric.
When opening day came, it was just so fast because so much was going on that day, and there was a lot of fanfare, which there should be. It was a great day. The crowd was loud, and it was really cool to see, to be in that stadium. And I remember going to home plate, and the umpire said to me, and he shall remain nameless, who are these guys? And there were some guys that were pretty well-known players. So I kind of drew that to his attention, and then, you know, we got off to the start.
The pre-game ceremonies feature everything from ribbon cuttings to Hall of Famers. But those events are just the warm-up act for the moment that seemingly all of Tampa Bay has been waiting years to see.
First pitch, it was just told John, let's sit right on the middle of the plate and let's get it over with. And I tried to do too much. I wanted to throw harder, and it wasn't a good idea. Instead, just let it go and throw right down the middle of the plate. And the sooner I let it go, I know it was going to be a ball. I'm like, oh no, that's not good.
And the first pitch in Devil Ray history, down and in, ball one, and that will go directly to the Hall of Fame.
I was probably the only one in the ballpark was glad he did, because I was figuring Hunter, he thinks he's going to get that fastball right there. It could be 1-0 right off the bat. And I said, please don't start. So when he threw that, I think it was a breaking ball going in for ball one. I said, well, we'll take it. You know, so it's probably the only time in my life I ever wanted one of our pitchers to throw a ball and not put a cookie right there for Hunter to hit.
There were so many different moving parts going in to the first pitch that once the first pitch was thrown, by the third or fourth inning, it felt like baseball again. But leading up to that, the build-up, it was like 10 opening days all packed into one.
That opening pitch and the feeling that the whole area and St. Petersburg is a major league city. It was, I think it took till that moment to actually grasp what has happened. And again, it was just a humbling, and it was an honor then, and it's an honor today just to be able to talk about it.
About the only thing that doesn't work out for the organization and the 45,000 plus in attendance that afternoon is the final score. And now, with all the build-up and buzz of opening day over, the big item on this fledgling franchise's to-do list is getting its first win. The starter for Game 2, rookie Rolando Araujo. A Cuban defector with years of experience pitching in front of big crowds at international tournaments and the Olympics, he seems unfazed as he gets ready for his big league debut.
The first time we saw him, we watched him throw in the bullpen, we're like, man, this guy got some good stuff. And he threw strikes, he threw his breaking before a strike. This guy got a chance, to be somebody, and he showed it. He showed real good stuff.
We knew in spring training he was kind of different. He was fun to catch for me because all these different arm angles, he would drop down, he would come over the top, and he was kind of creative. From a catcher, that was fun. That was, this is what you wanted to work with. And I think we saw early on in that year, especially the first half, he wanted it. Like, he wanted to show what he could do.
Yo recuerdo muy bien que we had played a preseason game in the Trop, and I had pitched against Atlanta and pitched and won. And all Larry Rothschild told me prior to that game was, remember the feeling that you did against Atlanta, because you're pitching tomorrow and you're going to win tomorrow. Just remember that feeling.
Rolando was, he was a really good pitcher. And, we didn't quite know until we got into the season a little bit, but, he showed right away that he was going to be able to pitch well in the major leagues here, and had the pitches to do it and had the makeup to do it. So it was fun to watch and to see, and just, some things came together that day.
After a rough first inning, Araujo goes on to pitch 6 complete, picking up his first big league win and helping the Devil Rays secure their first ever victory.
Creo que fue muy especial. It's a very special moment, just like my championship games in Barcelona when I was pitching for the Cuban team.
If you go back and look, the pitching staff, statistically, I think we had the 3rd best ERA in the American League that year. Might be an all-time expansion record. And we had good starting pitching. We had an outstanding, bullpen. But Rolando was the key. Wilson struggled, and we didn't know at the time, but he was hurt. And, at that time, so Rolando really became the key of that pitching staff. We couldn't ask for someone to handle it any better.
Araujo was the man, that year. He pitched real good. Back then he knows how to pitch. He knows how to mix pitches, the slider was great.
Araujo goes on to post a 14-12 record, earning a trip to the All-Star game and finishing 2nd in the American League Rookie of the Year voting.
Es el más especial. My best year ever, and it was the most important year for me, because I got to learn this great country, got to see a lot of this great country, got to do a lot also in baseball. Taking your first step in your first year was a learning experience, and it's one thing that I take with me, is that was my best year.
There's a strike call on the inside corner.
As good as Araujo is during the inaugural season, the bullpen just might be the strength of the team, led by closer Roberto Hernandez.
And he swings and he misses. He struck him out, and this one is over.
He's one of the guys that he never give up. He was like, I want the ball. Get me to the 9th inning, I will give you my best. He has a lot of confidence, he throws hard, and he's a great teammate too. And I'm on the field and off the field.
One of my roles was to be a mentor to all the young kids that were in the bullpen, or even Rolando. I was, trying to mentor him, try to explain to him, this is what is expected of you, and trying to be able to put our best foot forward the following year to compete, to be a better ball club, not only on the field but off the field.
the whole thing is we had Roberto there, so we were a bunch of young guys. Roberto pretty much taught us what we were supposed to do. He would, you know, we'd be in the middle of a game, like, Esteban, start stretching, because he knew what the roles were going to be, and he understood that. So I kind of enjoyed pitching more than ever because I knew what my role was. I was hardly ever surprised by when I was going to pitch.
It was all about the team. It was all about winning. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about saves. It was about establishing a mindset from a team standpoint. Roberto had that attitude every day when he showed up. We knew he was going to be there at the back end, but he was a personality and a presence at the beginning of the game. He was there, he was present, and that's huge for a bullpen.
Just get it to the ninth inning and we'll take care of that. You know, that's the attitude. You have to have a little swagger, cockiness. You don't fear the bully, you go right at the bully.
It's funny now when you talk about bullpens, you're talking about the 7th, 8th inning, right? And Jim Messier was that guy in 1998. I mean, he was the horse that we would bring in to kind of get the ball to Roberto Hernandez. And, you know, poor Jim Messier, if he was playing now, he'd been making a ton of money, right? He was kind of an afterthought then.
He's one of the 10 best competitors that I've ever been around, number one. And I tell that when people start talking about, when I'm in scouting meetings and they start talking about the makeup of a player, what it takes, it's easy to call up a guy like Jim Messier's name. He competed that well. The other thing that made Jim unique is his changeup was outstanding.
I was really grateful to get that opportunity, and I really became the pitcher that I wanted to be, so I knew it was one of the first times I knew I had a career. Like, I knew I could stick and stay in the big leagues.
It's that combination of youthful enthusiasm and veteran guidance that helps create a sense of optimism. Despite the challenges of competing in the rugged American League East in 1998.
We had a lot of fun. In the clubhouse, we had a lot of fun. You know, the guys were good about it. We wanted to win more games, of course, but all in all, you know, we could see that it wasn't going to be all that bad. You know, they needed to put pieces together, but it wasn't going to be bad.
It was my first time playing every day, and I always, you know, I always give my 100%, and I play always to win, and I get chance after the 3 years that I play here, it opened up the door for me in the big leagues, and it was kind of exciting.
It was a fun team to be around. It was a good group of guys, and I think some guys were getting the opportunity, like the Miguel Cairos of the world, and to see those guys have a chance, it was a lot of fun.
Probably felt as good as any GM could feel winning only 63 games. Our goal was not to lose 100 games, and I thought if we could do that again in the division that we were in with the payroll we had, that was a fine representation of the first year.
It holds a very special place for me. It's the first opportunity I had to manage, and to be selected to lead a group of people that are coming from all over, it was special. It was a special honor for me, and I'll never forget that.
In the 20 years since that first ever team took the field at the Trop, members of the organization have spread out across the country to pursue careers in and out of baseball. Manager Larry Rothschild is in his 8th season as Yankees pitching coach. General Manager Chuck Lamar is still evaluating talent as a major league scout for the Toronto Blue Jays. Closer Roberto Hernandez still lives in the area and is the pitching coach at St. Pete Catholic High School.
Softer, right there. And all you're going to do is throw a fastball out of there. Try to teach these kids how to compete, how to pitch. You know, a lot of kids are struggling with the idea, you know, that you have to throw over 85 or 90. No, pitching is an art. As long as you throw strikes, we can get guys out.
A back injury that derails his career leads Aaron Ledesma down an unlikely post-baseball path.
I was like living this fantasy life for a few years, and then all of a sudden that's pulled out from underneath me, and I had to figure out what I wanted to do. Interlock the fingers at the ball of the foot. There you go. The yoga really kept me grounded, so I liked it so much, I decided to go get trained and learn how to teach this specific style.
That's when Aaron and his wife decided to put down some roots.
We found a home here in Clearwater. An opportunity fell into our lap with the studio here, and we were both instructors, so it was just a natural fit for us to settle down here and build the studio. Make sure you're breathing, hold your breath, breathe in and out through the nose.
Some of the memories from March 31st, 1998 may have faded over time, but for those on that inaugural team, the pride they still feel in being part of the group that started it all is as strong as it was 20 years ago.
No, 20 años pasaron muy rápido. It's hard to believe that it's been 20 years. It's gone too fast. We were the root, the seed. Many players can come afterwards, but we were the trunk, the root, the beginning of it. Nobody can take that away from us.
I took my son to Cooperstown, and we were walking along the halls there, and I look at, they have the lineup card of the original Ray opening day roster. And we both kind of looked at it and we're like, he's like, Dad, that's your name. That's our name, right? And it was like, yeah, I'm in the Hall of Fame. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I came in with the Mariners, and my very first game was against the New York Yankees in Yankee Stadium. I was a huge Yankee fan, and that was my debut, so that was an unbelievable experience. Then I played for the Yankees, got a World Series ring with them, another experience. Then I come to Tampa Bay, and that's the place where I really start my career. So I put that up there with any of them.
I'm shocked that 20 years has gone by so fast. But, you know, it's hard to believe, but it's gratifying to say, part of that first team.
He got it! Struck him out swinging, and the Devil Rays win.
Opening lineup, first pitch, is great, it's great moments, it's gonna last forever.
The 1998 Devil Rays. It was a team born from the unwavering dreams of many. The team that started it all, and will always have a special place in franchise history and in the hearts of Tampa Bay baseball fans.